What's going on, beautiful people? Thank you for tuning in and watching and listening to my never-ending rants and rambles about the state of affairs of this dimension, of this world that we live in. And I got a big rant for you guys here today, a big ramble about depression. Okay, so I'm guessing this is gonna go on for a while, this video, but let's see, maybe not, maybe yes, probably yes. Okay, so depression is estimated to become the #1 mental illness in North America, in the United States and probably North America by like 2020 or something. Doesn't matter the dates, doesn't matter. It is becoming the #1 epidemic in North America as far as mental illness. And we'll talk about that label, mental illness, and how it is actually harming a lot of people who are depressed. This calling themselves mental illness. So, where do I begin? Okay, so a lot of people are depressed, right? In Canada, 9% of people are on antidepressant. 9%. That's almost 1 in 10 people who actually went to psychiatrists and got prescribed pills. That means the depression rate is much higher than that. And I confirm, I live in Canada, I see people, a lot of people are depressed. Talk to people, a lot of people. A lot of people are depressed. A lot of people are anxious. And it's only getting worse and worse and worse. So, as a society, what do we do? And this is thanks to our gods, the pharmaceutical companies. We label this as, we say, okay, well, you guys are depressed. We have high depression. Oh, it's a mental illness. Oh, you're kind of born with it and it's a mental illness. All right. We can prescribe you something now because we labeled it as a mental illness. So then you have things like Prozac and other antidepressants now being prescribed for people who are now medically depressed. They've been by a doctor, right? A doctor is essentially the government certifying someone that, hey, you know about the human body and the human condition more than the rest of us, so you're to be trusted. Now you can tell someone you're mentally ill, you're depressed, and then proceed to give them antidepressants, proceed to give them Prozac and other things like that. Pharmaceuticals that are created to rebalance the chemical imbalance that is depression. Depression is a chemical imbalance in your body, of course, with adverse side effects. So, the problem is this. We assumed that depression is just something that happens to you. We assumed, oh, you just get depressed, man. You just get depressed, It's just depression, man. It's a mental illness, man. Can't do nothing about it, man. Because we separated. We think physical and mind and body are separate. This is Western medicine, right? Materialism is looking at things as not as a whole, but as parts. So we think, oh, depression is just, it's mental. It's just mental. It happens here. Not much you can do, it's in your genetics, it's in your DNA. And here are some wonderful drugs for you to get better. Okay. Now, I will agree with one thing. Some people are definitely more prone to depression. It runs in the family line. It runs in the ancestry. It's in the DNA. Your parents might have been depressed. Your grandparents might have been depressed. And it sort of runs in the DNA. So you're born with an increased likelihood to get depressed. But only and only if you're in an environment that is ripe, that promotes depression. You see what I mean? It's just a tendency. That's all it is. It's a biological tendency. It is a DNA tendency. It's an ancestral tendency. But that's all it is. It's a tendency. Nothing more and nothing less. But we make so much of it and we say, oh, it's just in your DNA. You're supposed to get here's the depression, here's the Prozac, here's the antidepressant. You're mentally ill, and it's okay. We start to have campaigns, say no to discrimination against mental illness. So we label it, and the pharmaceuticals are so happy with it because now they're like, just label as many people as you can mental ill so we can give them these drugs because we need you to label them as sick before we can give the drugs. So the pharmaceuticals are perfectly happy with that. And they're probably in all likelihood pushing for more mental illness talk. But really, we haven't looked at why are people getting depressed? We haven't looked at the root cause problem. We haven't looked at why are people getting depressed. I mean, hunter-gatherers didn't have to deal with depression. They didn't even know what it is. Right? They didn't even know what it is. So we don't deal with the root cause. We don't look at what's causing depression, what's causing people to be depressed. We just assume that this is a natural thing and this happens and here's the drug. No, that is not the way we should look at it. That is the wrong way to look at it. Because underlying this mass depression and anxiety that is happening worldwide is a fucked up lifestyle. We all live fucked up lifestyles and we all had fucked up childhoods. The vast majority of us had fucked up childhoods, grew up in fucked up environments, ate fucked up food, got, fucked up shit in your body, and now you're getting depressed. Had fucked up things happen to you in your life, emotional traumas, and now you're getting depressed. And you don't know why. But you go to the people that are trusted with your health, the doctors, and they're going to give you pills, but the doctors don't even know any better. Unfortunately, they don't know any better. They're good people with good intentions and good hearts, but they don't know any better. No one is really looking at the root cause of the problem. Look at the lifestyle we live in. You have this human body, right? And this human body is designed by nature, by the programmer, right? The programmer of this thing. The human body evolved with certain ways of being, It's like a fish. Try to take a fish out of an ocean. That fish is gonna fucking die. It's designed to live in the water. It's designed to live in the ocean. Well, granted, humans are very adaptable, and that's what makes us on top amongst our brains and everything. That makes us human. That's what makes a human human. We're adaptable. You can find us everywhere. However, there are certain conditions, certain things in the human body that need to be working, that need to be stimulated in order for this mechanism to feel its power and for the driver, which is your consciousness, your soul, to feel good in this car, right? You're driving a Lamborghini, you feel pretty good, right? Oh, fuck, I'm driving a Lamborghini, you press on the gas, right? Feel pretty good. But if you're driving like a really shitty old 80s Honda that has seen much, much better days, you're gonna hear squeaks and cracks and you're fucking scared that the car's gonna break down and somebody's gonna come and smash you and the brakes are kind of not working. In the same way, this is your body, right? It's the same thing. So this mechanism here, this physical mechanism, has certain ways of being. Just like taking a fish out of the ocean, if you take it out of its natural habitat and you stop doing what it's naturally designed to do, you done fucked up. And so this is where we start to have a lot of these depressions and anxiety and mental illnesses happen because of a faulty vehicle, of a faulty body. This body needs to fucking move and needs to exercise. Studies have shown that vigorous exercise, aerobic exercise, where we have to breathe, right? So you're running, or you're doing martial arts, or you're playing soccer or basketball. Many studies have shown, this is old news, that vigorous exercise can be just as effective as antidepressants, minus all the side effects, minus all the dependency on the drug, minus all the money you have to spend on these expensive drugs. and you get positive side effects. You know, better oxygen, more endorphin release, more oxygen efficiency, more oxygen to the rest of your body, more recovery, better immune system. So you get positive side effects, and it's just as effective as antidepressant without all the negative effects that come with the antidepressant. So that is the first thing. This human body needs to exercise, but we program society complete opposite of that. What do most people do when they first wake up? When they first get up? Within an hour or so from when they get up, is they get in the fucking car. Right? So your body's designed to get up, move with the elements, with the sun, and start moving. Maybe looking for food. Maybe doing this, doing that. Now you're sitting down behind a fucking car. Right? You're breathing in all these fumes from all this pollution because of all the cars around you. You're taking in the stressful energy of all the rest of the people around you. And you're going where, my friend? You're going to fucking sit down more behind a computer screen, or you know, behind some kind of office on some chair doing some shit that you probably don't like. That's a whole different aspect for getting depressed, right? I think this video is gonna go on for a long while. So if you're still with me here, you're somewhat of a champ. I don't know why you're still listening to all this, but stay with me. Stay with me. This is gonna go on for a while. So, this person that is driving their car, sitting down when their body wants to just get up and run and hunt and run away from predators and shit, well, you're sitting behind a computer. Something feels icky in your body. The energy, that's excess energy, right? It's not being expressed, starts to go into your organs and into your cells and starts to eat you up and cause stress and cortisol, right? You go to your office and you're sitting down when your body just wants to, again, it's, you know, this is just your body. You're living inside this vehicle. This vehicle wants to move, wants to express, wants to move and hunt and run away and run and blah, blah. Okay, so that's number one. Yeah, that excess natural energy. You know, it's like a bird. When it's sunny, birds start flying around and singing. That's just what a bird does. That's just the way the bird is programmed. In the same way, the human body is programmed. As soon as you get up, you want to move. You want to like do stuff. You want to, you know what I mean? But you're sitting down. And guess what? Excuse me. You sit down for like the next fucking 8 hours once you get to work. Your most productive hours, this is like the hours, right? Like in between 9 and 3, this is when a human is most productive, are completely taken away from you. And you're sitting down. So now you have this excess energy inside of you. Physical energy, right? What the fuck do you do with it? You might want to go to the gym after, blah, blah, blah. You might be too tired. You have to do some shit. You have to go see your family, blah, blah. So some people don't even go exercise. And even the ones who do exercise, an hour of exercise, I don't know if it takes away from all the fucking stress and the lack of exercise and lack of movement that you've been going through the first 10, 12 hours of your day. So even that helps, but maybe not all that much. Maybe it just masks the symptoms, really, which is you shouldn't be sitting down in the first place. So that's the first thing that causes depression. You know, this lifestyle of sitting down, of inactivity. Very simple. If people start to be more active, start to exercise more, use their bodies as they're intended, we're going to have a lot less depressed people walking around. Number 2, the food. The food that we eat. The depression is a chemical imbalance. You don't have enough serotonin firing in your brain. But actually, most of your serotonin is produced in your gut. 80 to 90% of it is produced in your gut. And if you don't have a healthy gut, you don't have healthy production of serotonin. As simple as that. So if you're constantly putting junk in your body, like most of society, then you are compromising the production of serotonin, and therefore you're compromising your well-being, and you're feeling good and feeling beautiful and experiencing life from a higher state of consciousness. You're compromising all of that. You're compromising, and the more shitty food you put in, the less serotonin your gut's able to keep up with. Eventually your gut's like, dude, I can't handle this anymore. I gotta deal with your shit. we're going to have to shut down serotonin production. And then that causes the chemical imbalance. Amongst many things, you know, the toxins in the body, in the food that causes like, it throws off your hormones. So your entire endocrine system, your entire physiology is now compromised, causing this chemical imbalance, causing depression and brain fog and anxiety. So food, you know, again, we should be eating just natural food, right? Like just natural, not processed, natural foods, vegetables, fruits. If you're eating meat, then you know the meat that you get from supermarkets and shit is like full of antibiotics. That's also like really fucking up with your testosterone levels and estrogen levels. It should be just like freshly caught and just prepared like almost as soon as possible. Just natural, the way hunter-gatherers lived, the way native tribes lived, the way we humans lived for well over 95% of our evolution. You know, it's really, really crazy to think that all the civilization shit's only the last 5,000 years, or sorry, 10,000 years, which is last 5% of modern human existence. And actually the industrial era is like the last 150 years, which is, I don't even know, that's a small, tiny percentage of human existence. So this is all new to us. This is all unnatural ways of living, causing depression. It's all new to us. And it makes sense why we're getting depressed. So by just having a natural, the way your body was evolved to eat healthy food, then right away you're feeling better, feeling nicer, serotonin levels are optimal, and you're exercising. There we go. You're eating healthy, you're moving. You're not, even if you get depressed, it'll be minor depression and for other reasons. But the exercise and the eating healthy will help you get out of it. So that's number 2. And number 3, the soul needs to express itself. And most people are not doing what their soul wants to do. Most people are not doing what they're here to do. They're not doing that thing that tingles their balls and the vaginas, that makes you turns on all your light bulbs and you feel like excited and you want to do it. Most people are doing something they completely hate and despise. And that's causing people depression. Of course, your soul is being crushed here. It's not, you're not expanding. See, we're here in this video game. We're characters. I am in this vehicle, which I like as much as I can to look at as a Lamborghini and make it a Lamborghini. I am in this vehicle, right? My consciousness, my soul. And I'm having an experience of the universe through this lens of this character, right? I'm here to expand. You're here to expand. This is the purpose of life, for us to learn, to grow, to expand, to evolve, and become more love. In order for the soul to expand, for you to expand, your soul is the real you, right? The real you, the consciousness. You need to do what you're here to do. You need to align yourself, get in the flow of what you're here to do, what your purpose is. And if you're not doing that, instead of expanding, you contract. Look at the word depression. Depressed. It's energy depressed. Instead of pew, it goes pew. You see? Instead of going outwards, it goes inwards. So instead of expanding as a soul, as a consciousness, and that usually happens when you do something you love, you contract. You go inwards. You go back here again. And that causes, again, stress. The energy in equals energy out. If energy doesn't go out, it stays in. And it fucking eats you up from inside. And it causes you depression. And it causes you anxiety. And it eats up your organs and eats up your cells. It makes you miserable. It makes you sad. It makes you look at the world in such a negative way. And most people, the vast majority of people living in all societies all across the globe, are not doing things they enjoy. They're not doing things they're aligned with. They're doing things just simply to pay the bills. They're not thinking for themselves. They're not thinking, oh, you know, maybe I am a capable, powerful being and I can do what I want to do. Following your dream is your duty, your passion, your dream, the thing that turns your light bulbs on. It's your duty towards you, towards your fellow humans, and towards God, towards the force, towards the universe, towards the all, towards this thing that animates all of us, all of life, all of creation. That is your duty, because that's it. That's what you're here to do. And that's when you feel happy and joy and positive, and you want to just love everyone, and you want to, because you're spreading when you're drawing your art. If you're an artist, or you're playing these wonderful symphonies, and you're so in the moment, enjoying making the music, enjoying, putting it out there, sharing it with people. In my case, it's making these videos, and you see how much passion there is in making these videos. I love making videos. It's what I'm here to do. Making videos, talking for a living. I talk for a living. So finding that thing is very important, and unfortunately most of society is not aligned with that. But I think us, the young generation, we have to wake up. Most of you guys watching this are young, but if you're old, you're amazing also. Thank you for being here. But I'm talking to the youngsters here, anybody under 40. If you're under 40, you're young. If you're fucking 40, you're young, okay? We can't do that anymore. We have all the resources here. The information age, okay? The information age. We can't follow these old procedures, old ways of doing things anymore. Everything they're teaching you in school right now is old shit. The world is constantly changing. YouTube has only been around for 10 years to 11 years. That's it. You don't know what the fuck's gonna happen next. Everything they're teaching you in school is bullshit. It's too late. It's outdated. It works for the old industrial era and procedures and systematics that they've placed. It doesn't work anymore. This is a new world. You can do whatever you want. You have all the resources under your disposal. So go on and do what you love, and follow your heart and follow your dreams, and kick that depression out. Honestly, people get depressed because they're not doing what they're aligned with. That energy that they want to put out there is being put in there, or is being put into something they fucking hate that eats them up and crushes their soul. Okay? So the other thing that is causing this depression is the media, right? Negative information and degrading, because it really, advertisement and mainstream media and mainstream news and anything mainstream outlets are on purposefully designed to spread negative energy. So the news, turn on the news. What? Somebody fucking guy, ISIS killed this, blah, 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 somebody bombed. It's like, I would like for once to turn on the news. I don't turn it on anymore. But I would like that to turn on like CNN or something. And like the main headline is, today a group of 5 women and 5 men held this rally and raised this money, and they're feeding these 70 homeless people because of it, which I'm sure happens all the time everywhere. We're never gonna see that in the main headline. You're gonna see some negative shit, and suddenly you're tuning into that dimension. You think that's the world is. It's demonic. It's negative. It's doomed. It's all gloom and doom. Mainstream media. If you go on Instagram and you see all these like models, looking so good, and and you're like feel like shit about yourself, right? You're like, oh man, I don't have that body. I don't have these tits. I don't have this ass, right? And then you feel like shit about yourself. And then you have negative thoughts, and I'm not worth it, I'm not good enough, blah, 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 blah. So then there is the mental aspect of it, because the world is made of language. And right now, most of us are living the reality of the words, of the curse words that are passed down to us by other people who want to keep us controlled, keep us consuming their products, keep us buying into their pharmaceuticals and buying into their shit. That's really what this is all a language. This is all zeros and ones. What you see in front of me is 0 and 1. Everything's 0 and 1. It's a matrix. It's made of words. And right now we're under this mass spell, this curse of words of other people who just want to make money, who want to advance themselves for their own good. And we're operating under that spell, you see? And one of the spells that they have right now is that whole depression is a mental illness. because now we're under the spell of we need antidepressants to free ourselves from this illness that I can't do anything about. It's like, no. Our natural state, I will quote Wim Hof, our natural state is to be happy, strong, and healthy. This is the natural state of a human being. Hunter-gatherers, go watch documentaries on hunter-gatherers. People go and live in there and recording their experience. They don't have even a clue or a perception of what depression and anxiety and worry is. They live moment by moment, day by day, and they have their tribe with them. Which is going to be my last point. The tribe, the community, is what causing a lot of people depression and loneliness. But to finish off the video, I'm not saying we should go back to hunter-gatherer. That's completely impossible with 7 billion people heading soon to 10 billion. But I'm saying we should learn from that. Meaning we should build a new society on a lot of similar values as hunter-gatherers. Because if we don't, pretty soon we're fucked. We're doomed. The last point I want to make about this depression thing. Lack of community and lack of love, really. Maybe that may be the biggest one, actually. Believe it or not. This may be even bigger than exercise, than food, than following your dreams and passion, and, you know, consuming the negative shit. It may be very well that this lack of community and lack of love is actually what is the #1 cause of depression. Or like, maybe it is the #1. It definitely, all of these 5 are huge, what I just talked about. Huge, huge. They're all causing depression together. But this one is big, man. We're communal beings. We're tribal beings. We need to feel belonging to a tribe. We need to feel loved and love a bunch of people, you know? And a lot of us are not getting that. A lot of us are feeling lonely. If you live in the West, there's definitely lack of touch. Like, people here are not intimate. They don't, you know what I mean? They don't hug and touch and kiss. It's like, it's unless you're obviously a couple, but I'm talking about like just mainstream culture here, mainstream society, right? And this is causing a lot of people feelings of loneliness, feelings of unhappiness, unloved. And there's a natural thing in us to belong to a tribe. That's how we evolved for most of our history, lived in tribes. The tribe looked at each other as one. You know, you didn't look at yourself as, oh, this is Saeed. No, I looked at myself as, I'm the tribe. This is my tribe. But now, in this egocentric world that we created, the idea of the tribe is, or the concept of the tribe is not there anymore. So we're left with our nuclear family, maybe your dad and your mom, and we all know how much problems we all have with our parents, right? Most people have some kind of problem with their parents. And that's your tribe right now. Maybe your brothers and your siblings, and that's about it, right? And even then, like, if you have problems with them, then you're fucked. Like, you start to feel lonely, and yeah, it's really a problem, especially here in the West, because money is God here. Making money is God. Materialism is God here. And unfortunately, that gets in the way a lot of times with love and community and oneness. Money is not a bad thing, guys. You know, money is simply a tool, right? It's simply a tool, and it's a decent tool, actually. You know, because before they had the barter system, and that kind of gets a little bit weird. Because what if you have something and I have something, but you don't want my thing, and your thing is more valuable? So then we come up with money. It's a tool. Hey, you know what? This is universal value. Gold was initially the thing. We traded, and then that's that universal value, and then money sort of replaced it. Not a bad idea at all. But when it becomes the God, when it becomes over anything else, then that becomes a problem. That's when money becomes a problem. So there's lack of community, this lack of love, this lack of belonging, this lack of physical touch and intimacy is causing a lot of people depression. And of course, because every single one of us at our core is made up of this, now we get hippy-dippy on you guys, love. All of us are made of love. This is the essence of you, the true essence of you. It is love. That's who you are. So of course there is that sense of wanting to be with other people and being intimate. Because that's the very essence of you. That's you. That's who you are. So when that need, that basic human need of belonging and community is not met, it's going to cause you feeling lonely, it's going to cause you feeling suffering, emotional suffering, physical suffering, spiritual suffering. You want to unite with other people, you want to experience oneness and love and togetherness and unity, so that causes depression as well. So you see how it's a combination of factors a faulty lifestyle, a faulty civilization that we built that is causing depression. That is a foreign idea to people who lived in hunter-gatherers, which is all of us before we created this whole civilization thing, really, for most of our history as humanity. The idea of depression is a foreign idea, but it's a new modern phenomenon. We gotta deal with it together. We gotta realize, actually, no, you're not mentally ill. No, that even though you might have a tendency for it, that doesn't mean you are doomed to be depressed. That doesn't mean you need antidepressants to not be depressed anymore. That doesn't mean any of that shit. No, it doesn't. It means just realize this is fucked up society and I'm gonna fix myself. And once I fix myself, no more depression. Happiness, joy, our natural state, like Wim Hof says, our natural state is to be healthy, strong, and happy. And this is our natural state as human beings, really. Don't let anybody fool you into thinking our natural state is gloom and doom and depression and anxiety. Don't let anybody fool you into that. That is not our natural state. Darkness is the absence of light. Light is the natural, it's the default mode. Happiness, strength, health is the default mode, not depression, anxiety, gloom, and doom. That's not the natural state. And, I've experienced depression myself. That's a video for a whole another video that probably around 30 minutes, my whole experience with depression. But these are all insights that I gained as I try to get myself out of depression and into the light, out of the darkness into the light. So, hopefully this helps you guys to understand that, hey, nobody's fucking mentally ill. Nobody's, doomed to be depressed, because nobody is naturally depressed, and we're naturally happy, strong, and healthy. So let's together work on fixing this ourselves, and then forget fixing the old society, building a new society, creating heaven on earth, a new society based on love, unity, oneness, togetherness, happiness, joy, intimacy. That's my dream. That's my vision. I'm here to carry that on from this day until the day I exit this game. DMT takes me to the other realm and I'm out of here and I'm like, peace out, boys. Time to play other games. Until then, until my incarnation, my spawn is over, I'm here to spread that message as much as I can. God bless you all. Thank you for watching up until this point. I love every single one of you guys, but don't forget to subscribe or you're gonna sleep with the fishes.